game, and Nub 2.0 was kind enough to share a screen with us. So we'll be watching from his POV this game. Alrighty, and looks like Nub is in the first seat. So the blizzards on this map appear to be actually the Morocco blizzard and the Europe blizzard might be a bit consequential. It is a smidge harder now to get back into Europe. That 5-stack on Spain is in a nice little pocket corner that people are going to have to work to get to. Italy is pretty much the choke point there for that France-Spain pocket with those blizzards. And then the portals. Portals are kind of around the edge, the border area of the map here. So we'll see how that shakes out. And probably should mention and tell you guys the settings for this game. So we'll go ahead and do that now. The game 1 settings. This is the Africa Advanced map. It's a 70% game. So the players do not need to eliminate all other players. They do not need to conquer the entire map. All they need to do is conquer 70% of that map. And for Africa Advanced, 70% with blizzards on is 33 territories. So that's all but 17 of the 50 territories that remain when you have blizzards on. So 33 territories is the win condition for this game. Other things with respect to the settings, as you guys can see, blizzards are on, stable portals are on. There is no fog of war though. The placement was random auto. The card bonus, this is a progressive card game. So the sets will get progressively bigger as the game goes on and as more people trade in. The AI difficulty is expert, turn timer is 90 seconds, alliances are off, and the IA behavior, the I don't know why I just read verbatim IA behavior, but the bot behavior is automated bots, and then the dice rolls are balanced splits. We got Bart in here, fire hype, the fiery hype emote. Indeed, get hype for this one. I was about to say, you know, I've seen the little king in the yellow circle once before earlier today. I can't imagine who that was. But yeah, you had a good couple of games in the last group, Bart. Congrats on your 45 points. That was something to see for your for group 3 there. Alrighty. So what will be interesting to see is if these players decide to make this a bonus game. I think 2 of the previous groups did make this a bonus game. 1 group did not. So we will find out what this group decides to do. And it's probably a smidge too soon to be looking at lines, but just based off of spawn, I wouldn't be surprised if the players are at least looking at who might have them lined up and are trying to do things in order to mitigate their own kill and try and do everything to lower those odds, right? All right, so in terms of turn order, Nub 2.0 is in the first seat, Arco is in the second seat, Dedestro's in the third seat, Nathaniel is in the fourth, and Quarantined is in the fifth seat. And last but not least, we have I Am Mamba in the sixth and final seat. Okay, so Quarantine says, I would like for this to be a bonus game. Immediately, Bart brings up the thanks and the fist bump. So apparently Arco, pardon me, Arco wants Quarantine to roll something out somewhere. I'm not seeing where, though. I'm not seeing what Arco has. Honestly, Arco's best bonus line appears to be East Africa, which is right next to the Southern Africa bonus that Quarantine just took. So Mamba bringing out the question marks, thinking about what he wants to do. It does appear as though Destro is attempting to take the Asia Minor bonus. So we'll see if Mamba moves his 4 out to allow Destro to have it. Mamba appears to perhaps be going for the +6 North Africa bonus and gets perfect dice on Nub's 2 on that territory within the North Africa bonus. Nub apparently was trying to line up Horn of Africa, it looks like, but he does not quite have it. I mean, he could roll the dice on that 6v4. So it looks like he is going to ask Nathaniel to move it out. Nub draws a wild card on his second turn. Very nice seeing that. So it does look like Nub moved out of the Eastern Africa bonus that Arco is going for. So Arco is going to portal in and finish that off and go ahead and capture that one. All right, so Destro, I don't think there's any surprise here. He is going to go ahead and finish his Asia Minor bonus. So far, all the bonuses that have been taken, including the one that Destro just took, are +3s. And we'll go over the bonuses in just a moment. I'll wait for this turn to wrap, and I'll pop the bonuses up. So Nathaniel, Nub asked him to move his 4 out. We'll see if Nathaniel does that. It looks like Nathaniel wants the +6, slams Destro's 3, and does move his 4 out of Nub's way. And I'm sure he's hoping that Nub will return the favor and move his 3 out of Nathaniel's way. Quarantined has a bit of an early lead, though. In the 5th seat, he was able to take the first bonus on turn 1 and gets to be the first player to drop bonus troops on the board. Mamba should be able to have 100% rolls on his North Africa take here. Only loses 1 on that 2, and then finishes his take of North Africa. And has 2 and/or 3 guards pretty much everywhere on North Africa, except for the 6 stack he's got in Egypt. But this is a progressive game, so Mamba should be a smidge careful because he is looking as though he is only in one position. Yeah, Mamba is pretty much only in North Africa and then that 4 stack in Europe. I think Quarantined arguably has the best position on the board because Quarantined not only has his bonus, but he has 2 exterior positions from that bonus. And then Arco isn't in too bad a shape himself. He has multiple positions in addition to his bonus. And Nathaniel doesn't yet have his. So Nathaniel is going to take his bonus coming up on this turn here, though. So that's going to put Mamba and Nathaniel on +6s. It's going to have, and then Nub finished taking the horn, so Nub is on a +4. Meanwhile, Arco, Destro, and Quarantined are all on +3. So we'll watch Nathaniel finish up his +6, and then I'll bring the bonuses up. Nathaniel, if Nathaniel isn't broken, he's also going to have a decent position too, because he's the one that spawned in with a 5 stack in that nice little Spain pocket there, thanks to the Morocco Blizzard. He's not going to have a very strong hold on this +6, but we'll see if it's enough. And then it looks like he's opening up a trading pocket for him and Arco in France. Okie doke. So let's take a look at the bonuses on Africa Advanced. So I've already mentioned a bunch of these, but we got 5 +3s. You got Europe at the top, which frankly, it's not worth +3. That should be worth more than +3. But map says it's +3. Asia Minor is another +3. That's Dedestro's bonus. West Africa is another +3. That bonus is unclaimed. East Africa is Arco's bonus. And Southern Africa is Quarantine's bonus. Then you got your +4, which is the Horn of Africa. That is Nub's bonus. And then you have 3 +6s. The Central Africa +6 is Nathaniel's. The North Africa +6 is Mamba's. And the Sahara +6 is unclaimed. Alrighty, so we are we're in the 4th round where we could see players set in because players have players have 3 cards, but we probably won't see any of these players set in on 3 for the first round of trades. Normally, for a progressive game, you're going to want to wait as long as possible to trade in so that these first few trades are worth as much as possible for you. So typically, you see the first person in the turn order, take the lowest trade by the time we get to 5 cards, and then so on and so forth. But that does depend on if a kill somehow happens to be made early, or if a player decides to card skip or somehow misses a card. But I don't expect anyone misses a card by mistake with this lobby here. So Arco moved into France. Doesn't look like he wants to trade cards with Nathaniel in Spain. Maybe he wants to trade cards with him in Italy, because Arco has not a huge kill guard, but a smidge of a kill guard on Nathaniel over in Spain. All right, and just looking at the troop count as we wrap up the 4th turn here, Nub is looking like he's in a bit of rough shape on 26 troops. Dedestro also not quite at 30 troops yet, and Arco just barely above 30 troops. Nathaniel is expected to get caught up a little bit. He's 4th in the turn order, so his trade will be a decent size, and he's on a +6. Quarantined in decent shape, just shy of 40 troops, and Mamba on a +6 and last in the turn order. He's doing just fine / as expected for the player in the last seat. All right, so Nub 2.0 has a wild card, and he will not have to trade it. I believe I saw him draw his 3rd cannon on his 4th card, so he had a set on 3 plus a wild card when he had 4 cards in his hand. So he will have a set on 3 going into the 2nd round of trades because he will likely not turn in his wild when he gets his first set. All right. So Dedestro is taking cards from the only position he can take cards from. And doesn't appear as though anyone is up for card skipping. All these players are going to go to 5 cards, it seems like. So Mamba was able to kind of create another position for himself with that 4 that he's got wedged in into that West Africa position there. So yeah, Nub 2.0 deliberately not trading in the wild card. Yeah, never use a wild card if you don't have to. And this is the 4 trade that Nub 2.0 is turning in. The first of many trades this game, or maybe a few. Maybe it's a quick one. Nub thinking about what he wants to do, but really only has one choice unless he wants to start upsetting the apple cart and breaking people. Leaves his 14 in the card trading territory in order to do a fortify elsewhere. But it does appear as though Dedestro and Mamba, the folks that he was trading cards with, still all have cards that they can get elsewhere. Arco, I keep saying Bart. Arco turned in the 6th trade and continues to trade cards with Nathaniel over in France. Dedestro turning in the 8th trade. He's probably going to hit the one of nubs in that corner there for his card. Yeah, that's really his best card option unless he wants to either remove Mamba's exterior 3 or break Nathaniel, which I don't imagine he's interested in doing any of that just yet. New phone, who dis? How's it going, Rumble Bluntskin? That's quite the name there. Excellent name. Now we got Nathaniel setting in for 10. Ticker on the bottom's nice touch, rotates so quickly. Yeah, it does move a smidge fast. I wish I had a slowdown button for it, but I don't. If it's too distracting, I can always shut it off. But anyway, quarantined, trading in the 12 set. And as you can see, Nathaniel being on the +6 for so long has passed quarantined, even though quarantine got his bonus first and is setting in with a slightly bigger trade than Nathaniel. No, it's good, LL. Yeah. So we see Mamba saying good luck, is quarantined up to something. Remember, this isn't a full World Dom game, so we're not necessarily going to see a kill, or we're not necessarily going to see a bunch of kills until the game's over. But Quarantined did decide to break Mamba. Mamba is not having it. Immediately slams a 10 stack of Quarantined after setting in. Very spicy move there. Mamba not putting up with breaking. Quarantined. It's understandable that Quarantined felt the need that Mamba needed to be broken there, being on a +6 and in the last seat. But man, did it probably hurt to lose that 10 stack exterior position. All right, Nub 2.0 feels no need to set on 3 here. He's going to keep his wild card. Draws a horsey. Does he have a set without the wild? We will get that question answered whenever Nub checks his hand again. Arco Nathaniel continuing to invade France and surrender it back to each other, all without attacking from Germany. Anyway, World War II joke. And the Destro is going to take a card off Nub. Nathaniel, I don't think there's any surprise. He's going to take a card off of Arco in France. So I just noticed this. I should have noticed this sooner, but Nathaniel also has a nice little kill guard spot on the other side of the Morocco Blizzard. He is kill guarded by Nub 2.0's 15 stack and Mamba's 26 stack. So that 4 of Nathaniel's is wedged in quite nicely. So Nathaniel, I think, has a lot going for him this game. He's got a +6. He's got exterior positions. He's got 2 kill guarded positions. Well, 2 pocket positions, one of which is kill guarded. The 6 of Arco's isn't quite big enough to really be a kill guard. Um, and he's in the 4th seat, which is one of the primo killing seats. And the other thing is, the 2 players in the bottom 2 seats have kind of gotten themselves into a war, which we're about to find out right now if Quarantined wants to continue that war. And then the answer to the question earlier, Nub 2.0 does not have a set without his wild. He would need to use his wild to set in. Quarantine decides not to take a card. He's going to card skip and go to 3 cards. Feels just a smidge fishy after the exchange from Mamba. Mamba switching up where he wants his West African exterior stack, moving it into that little territory over in the Sahara Desert, and fortifies a bunch of troops. What was that, 23 some troops over there? Which kind of relieves the kill guard on Nathaniel from one of the entry points. So Nub 2.0 is going to go ahead and use his wild card to take the first set in the second round of trades, turn it into 20 troop set. Question is, does he have a kill? He can't really kill Quarantined. He does decide to break Mamba. He's breaking Destro. This appears to be the Destro kill. He does get it. GG's to Destro, and well played to Nub 2.0, taking the first bounty of game 1 in this quarterfinal round. He's going to trade in his 3 horsies for the 25 set. Does he have another kill that he can line up, or does he just run the 70% here and now, folks? Again, Quarantine is not an option. Arco might be. Arco's the next best deal on the table. 52 troops for the going rate of 4 cards. Nub is running out of time here. Yeah, it does not look like he's got the Arco kill. He does break Nathaniel. Getting some really good manual dice here. Is he attempting the run? Is the question. Ends his turn and puts a 25 stack on the portal that was formerly occupied by Mamba. And has a set on 3. So if it gets back to Nub's turn without someone having won the game by then, there is a pretty decent chance that Nub 2.0 sets on 3 and attempts the 70% run on his next turn. So with that ticking clock going, Arco is up. Arco does not set in on 4 because 2 trades were taken. That probably means that Arco simply did not have a trade. I don't believe that that was a deliberate choice of his to simply not set in there. So that seems to indicate that he just simply didn't have it. Arco goes to 5 cards. Nathaniel also does not set in, also goes to 5 cards. This appears to be Nub 2.0's game here, unless Quarantined or Mamba can do something about it. Quarantined, because he card skipped last turn, that seems to indicate that he had a set on 3 and simply did not feel the need to take a card. The question is, does he go ahead and set in now? And if so, does he go for a bounty or the run? He doesn't set in and he doesn't take a card. Quarantined. Interesting play there. There are no placement points in this tournament, and Quarantined appears to be playing for second place. The only thing that gets you points in this tournament game, folks, is either a bounty or the W. Mamba also does not trade in. It gets all the way back to Nub 2.0's turn with no additional sets. He goes ahead and sets on 3 for the 30 trade. He's giggling and chuckling to himself because there are 3 players on 5 cards. I'm not a statistician, but I would love to hear what the odds are of 3 players missing their sets on 4. So it is Mamba's game to lose here or win here, depending on what he decides to do. It looks like he is attempting the run, slams an Arco position, a Mamba position. He is slowly working on Arco, gonna double tap Arco's last spot. Needs to be very careful here. Doesn't look like he has it. He needs to win 2 1v1s now. He no longer has the Arco kill, I think. Yep. Unfortunately, misses the Arco kill there. Arco on 1 troop and is next to set in. Yep. Quite the bummer for Nub 2.0 there. Arco gets to survive to set, but can't really do much else. Ends his turn as soon as he puts his cards on the board. Nathaniel, on 118 troops, should be able to run the table or at least take the I Am Mamba kill or the quarantine kill. Either one of them would set him in turn. Yeah, quite unlucky indeed for Nub 2.0, missing that Arco kill. That should feed the game to Nathaniel. Nathaniel appears to be going for the quarantine kill, and it looks like he does have it with that successful 6v4 at the end there. 43v37. GG's to Quarantined, and congratulations to Nathaniel taking the second bounty of this game. Sets in for 45 troops. Does he go ahead and take Mamba with him on the run here that he's almost certainly going to attempt? Mamba's on 54 troops. Nathaniel has more than double his troops, and Mamba is the player in second place. Mamba now down to 17 after losing that 30 stack. So it does appear as though Nathaniel is doing everything he can to maximize his points before he goes for the 70% run. I don't think there is really anything that can stop him at this point. I think an interesting question is, does he take the Arco kill too? Because the Arco kill would also set him in turn, and he probably still has enough to run it. Yep, he does take the Arco kill as well. GG's to Mamba, GG's to Arco. Congratulations to Nathaniel, chaining 3 kills on the turn in which he almost certainly will win this game 1 of this quarterfinal round here. Sets in for 55, finishes Madagascar, finishes the Horn, but doesn't need it. Had all kinds of real estate. Nub 2.0 was certainly next if this was a World Dom game, but because it was a 70% game, Nub got to be alive while witnessing Nathaniel's epic run and turn there. So, at the conclusion then of game 1, we have Nathaniel on 24 points, taking the W and 4 bounties. No, 3 bounties, excuse me. Nub 2.0 taking 1 bounty, almost 2, but didn't quite get it. And then Arco, Dedestro, Mamba, and Quarantined are going to be munching on the consolation donut at least until one of them scores in the next 2 games here. These players will have 2 more games worth of opportunities in which they can score. And the first of which is coming up right now. We're hopping into game 2 of the quarterfinal round in the 2024 Hotbunz World Tour Tournament. Dedestro is once again going to host the game lobby. He's going to be on purple, Mamba on red, Nub 2.0 on orange, Nathaniel on green. It does appear as though everyone is going to be reprising their colors from the last game, which makes it easy on the caster and the host, and I'm sure it makes it easy on the audience. Bart says, I'm selfishly hoping Nathaniel doesn't win any more games. I want that AA to finals. Oh, that auto advance to finals. Yeah. Yeah, Bart, I don't know what your total points are, but 45 points just in your quarterfinal round alone was something. It looks like we're just waiting on Quarantine to join back in. Alrighty, so the next stop on the World Tour for the quarterfinal game here is New Zealand and Australia Advanced. The settings here are going to be a smidge different. Different map, still 70% game. We are turning the blizzards off. We have a we are not turning Fog of War on. We're keeping the stable portals on. Placement is auto. Turn timer is still 90 seconds. Bots are still automated experts. Dice are still balanced blitz. But what we're going to switch up in addition to the map and turning the blizzards off is, instead of progressive cards, this is going to be a fixed card game. So the sets are not going to progress like they did in the last game. They are going to be fixed. If you trade in 3 infantrymen on your cards, you're going to get 4 troops in return. If you trade in 3 horses, you're going to get 6 troops. If you trade in 3 cannons, you're going to get 8 troops. If you trade in one of each, you get 10. And then the other thing we're going to go ahead and flip on is the alliances. So one of the best ways to progress a fixed game is to work with your fellow players in determining how the game advances and evolves. Never seen 4 set that week. Quarantine skipped and 3 players didn't set on 4. Yeah, uh, that was that was wild. Honestly, if at least one player had set before getting back to Nub's turn, because Nub didn't need 3 of them on 5. If one of them had set, he definitely gets that Arco kill. Of course, unless that person was Arco that set. Nathaniel's on 57 now. I'm on 65 on 60. Okay. Yep. So Nathaniel doesn't need to win a game to pass you. He just needs to get 2 more bounties. Alrighty. So we do see the alliances go out. The handshakes are being made. The hearts and love letters are being made. Risk diplomacy at its finest, folks. Just send someone a heart and they'll be your ally for life. No way they would ever dream of backstabbing or betraying you. Otherwise, that heart emoji means nothing. I Am Mamba is in the first seat. He's looking at what bonuses he wants to take based on his spawn. Doesn't look like he has very many good options, really any options at all. He can go for the +2, where he's got a 1 troop in and black has a 1 troop in, but doesn't really have. So what you're looking for on this map is a +4 or a +3 to go for. That's really kind of what you want. Yeah, Mamba seems to be agreeing with me that his best option is that +2. So he does go ahead and at least bag that one, and is going to portal over in his Fortify some additional troops to guard that bonus a little bit better. Nub 2.0 has a few options at his disposal. He's got the South Island of New Zealand, but instead of going for that, he would rather have Eastern New South Wales, which is worth +3 for this map. Nathaniel could take Western New South Wales, maybe. Well, maybe not. The rolling a 3 there is probably a bit expensive. He could go for the +4 of it's Victoria in Tasmania or something, all the way in the south. It's the bonus that features the Tasmanian island there, or the Tasmania island. Wait, island of Tasmania? I don't know. I can't talk. Instead, he does opt for the +2 of Central Australia and lines up to take the Victoria and Tasmania bonus on his next turn. So Nathaniel going for a 2 bonus play to put himself on +6 in the next couple of turns. Quarantined, going to be looking at his spawn now. It doesn't look like he has too many solid options here. He does have a 4 stack up in the top, but the 3 stack from Dedestro's there is crowding him a bit. I think Quarantine's best bonus is that +2 to the west of the 4 stack. He can just keep punching west until he's got that +2 bagged, and I'm sure Dedestro would be quite happy with him because it makes Dedestro's turn that much easier. It does appear as though he is going to move west. No reason not to take the +2 now that he's chosen his direction. And he's going to almost certainly fortify onto that portal. Dedestro is up. He's going to go ahead and take the +3 that Quarantine just moved out of. So this take is just as easy for Dedestro as the Kimberly take was for Quarantined, but Dedestro is going to get 1 more troop out of his bonus per turn than Quarantined is. So for now, Dedestro is getting the better end of the deal, having gone after Quarantined. All right, and last but of course not least, we have Arco. He's going to be looking either at the South Island or at uh, Western New South Wales. Whoops, we lost Nub 2.0's stream. He is bringing it back up. Okay, very good. Thank you, sir. So yeah, Arco's going to be looking at either West New South Wales or the South Island of New Zealand. So it's probably debatable which one's the easier take. It is not debatable which one is worth more. The South Island is worth +4. Western New South Wales is worth +3. And the other thing to note is Arco also has an easy +2 take between Mamba's bonus and Dedestro's bonus. All he has to do is add 1 to his 3 up there, and he gets a +2. Or he could just roll the 3v1. Looks like he wants the South Island. Question is, does he greed out and go ahead and roll that 3v1 at the top? Doesn't have the best hold on the South Island there. Loses 2 dice, or loses 2 troops right at the end. And does go ahead and roll that 3v1, gets perfect dice on it. So if Arco remains unbroken, he'll be on +6. Mamba is going to try and look for an upgrade somewhere, I'm sure. Wants the Greater Western Australia bonus. That is certainly an upgrade, but it is it's such an upgrade that the board may not be okay with him holding that. Nub 2.0 goes for, I think that's called the Gulf something bonus. Gulf and North Queensland bonus, which is worth +3. So now Nub is on +6. Mamba is on +8 if he manages to hold all the bonuses he's taken. Nathaniel's on +2. And I think it's pretty clear what he's going to do on his turn. He's going to go ahead and finish the Victoria and Tasmania +4 bonus to put himself on +6. And has 100% rolls there for the take. Quarantined on a +2. Does not really have very good prospects for an upgrade. He is going to go for the North Island of New Zealand. Going to go ahead and remove Nathaniel and Dedestro from that island, and then set up for a turn 3 take on his second bonus. And Dedestro also looking for a second bonus. He's chosen the Southern Australia bonus. I don't think he'll quite get it this turn. He's going to need perfect dice on this split here. Yeah, he is going to need to roll perfect dice on the 2v1 if he wants it this turn. Doesn't look like he's going to get it. But he is lined up to take that next turn. And if he takes that, if he holds these 2 bonuses and takes that bonus next turn, he will be on +8 along with Mamba. So Mamba has every reason to want Dedestro to take that second bonus there. That way 2 players are on +8 as opposed to potentially a target being painted on Mamba's back. Arco, looking at what his third bonus is going to be. Arco took 2 bonuses, put him on +6. May as well take the Western New South Wales bonus. This is going to add +3 to his bonus total. The question is, will he allowed to hold 3 bonuses? If he is allowed to hold 3 bonuses, he's going to be on +4, +3, +2, which is +9 if you're doing the math at home. Mamba does get to hold his +8. Very interesting. Seeing a lot of good neighbor play here. No one has been broken. So while we're watching how this game unfolds, I am going to go ahead and just go over all the bonuses so that you guys are aware. There are 4 +2s. There's the Kimberley bonus owned by Quarantine. There's Arnheim Land and Groot Aligned It. Again, I butcher these names because I don't know how to talk. Which Arco has, Far North Queensland, which Mamba has, Central Australia, which Nathaniel has. And then you have 3 +3s. You got Top End and Tiwi Islands, owned by Dedestro. You got Gulf and North Queensland, owned by Nub 2.0. And you got Western New South Wales, owned by Arco. And then you got a few +4s. You got Victoria and Tasmania, owned by Nathaniel. You got Eastern New South Wales, owned by Nub. You got the South Island +4, owned by Arco, and the North Island +4 about to be owned by Quarantined. Claimed by Quarantine at the moment. Then you have 2 +5s. You got South Queensland, which is unclaimed. That's normally the case these games. And you got South Australia, which Dedestro is going to finish taking on his next turn, if nothing changes. And then the Asia of this map is currently occupied by I Am Mamba. That is the Greater Western Australia bonus. It's the biggest bonus on the map. It is worth +6. All right, we've quickly run through all the bonuses, getting back into the game now. Yep, indeed, Quarantined is going to go ahead and remove Nub 2.0 from the North Island and bag his +4. That finally, on turn 3, puts Quarantined on +6. So Quarantined, just looking at troop count, Quarantine's in a little bit of rough shape. He is only on 20 troops. So if the board decides to pick on Quarantined here, there's really not much he's going to be able to do to respond and recover. It is pretty much the board's decision to decide if Quarantine gets to continue the fixed game. Arco was able to hold his +9. Nobody broke 3 bonus Arco. Interesting choice there. I think if I was a player in this game, I probably would have broken Arco's +2, but at the same time, maybe you don't want one of the best players in the world of Risk angry at you during a tournament game. All right, Mamba still on his +8. So Dedestro on +8, Mamba on +8, and Arco on +9. Arco getting the better end of the deal here. And Mamba is going to decide to pick on Quarantine here. Goes ahead and steals his +2. And not just pick on him, he's going to go for the full bounty here. And I think he has it. Normally you don't see bounties like this in a fixed game, but if you do see them, they do come out early like this. He's going to need to get good enough dice here to split afterwards, and he does have it. GG's to Quarantined. And well played to Mamba, taking the first bounty of this fixed game, and potentially the only bounty. Oftentimes, there are no bounties taken in a fixed game, and surely Mamba will not be allowed to hold 4 bonuses. So Mamba added to his +8 another 6 that Quarantined was on. So Mamba is currently on +14 if he remains unbroken. So Nathaniel signaling to Nub, hey, maybe we should do something about Mamba, which makes complete and total sense. And I think Mamba fully expects to be broken. I think he understands that he's not going to be able to hold +14's worth of bonuses. Nub takes the easy break on Mamba's +2. Mamba brings out the thumbs up saying, yep, fully expected, understand. And we got Quarantine in the chat. I love Risk, the game of global domination. Yeah, this was a rough game for you, Quarantined. But GG's, though, I think you played as good as you can with the hand you were dealt. But with people holding +8, there's 2 people holding +8, 1 person holding +9, and you getting +6 on turn 3 in a fixed game spells trouble if somebody really is gonna look at bounties there. All right. So Nathaniel did set in. I missed how big his trade was. It does appear as though it may have been a 10 set. Actually, maybe not. Maybe it wasn't as big as a 10 set. I missed it, and if it was a 6 trade, I'm going to be upset that I didn't get to make my horsey trade joke again. I love saying horsey trade because it's funny. Well, it might not be funny, but it's funny to me. And I'm the one that gets to talk, so. Anyway, Dedestro goes to his 4th card. Arco, still unbroken, still on 3. Mamba only lost his +2s. So Mamba is on +10 if Arco doesn't break the North Island. Which I don't think I don't think Mamba would be too particularly upset with, hey, I got to upgrade my bonuses after taking a bounty. So Mamba potentially looking at an upgrade here. But no, Arco is not going to have it. Arco does break Mamba's +4 and puts enough troops there to potentially steal it from him. But no, Arco is going to go for a 2-point guard on the South Island with Nub 2.0 could stab him in the back with the 15 stack that connects to the South Island. But that puts Mamba back down to earth a little bit, only collecting +6 now. But I do not expect that Mamba is too particularly pleased with Arco there and that decision. Mamba going in on Destro. Removes Destro, fully steals his bonus. Gives a thumbs up to Nub. This might be a feed. It looks like Mamba and Nub 2.0 have negotiated Destro's demise here. Diplomacy can be ugly sometimes, folks. Nub is worried about his dice prospects. Breaks Arco to make sure he gets this Destro kill here. And indeed, he ensures it. GG's to Destro. And well played to Nub 2.0, taking the second bounty of game 2, with a honorable mention to Mamba for the bounty assist, but feeds don't get you any points. But I'll call it out there because that was clearly alliance negotiation between Nub and Mamba there. And bounty assist is probably the nicest way you can phrase a kill feed. Anyway, so Nub 2.0 adds to his points total. He is now on 6 points. And he's also now on 3 bonuses, but I doubt he'll hold all 3. And similarly, Mamba's on 3 bonuses. I also doubt he'll hold all 3 of those. Nub telling Nathaniel to attack red. I wonder how keen Nathaniel or other members of the board are going to be to listen to Nub tell them to attack the player that fed him a kill. Okay, interesting. Nathaniel decides to take a 3rd bonus, takes the other +5 on this board. Will he be able to actually hold South Queensland? I'm not so sure. But this is easily one of the most dynamic fixed games that we've had out of all the groups in this quarterfinal round. Alrighty. Arco looks like he's lining up to finish the North Island take and break a little bit of Mamba. Mamba on 3 bonuses and 5 cards. Does Arco also retake his Western New South Wales bonus? Looks like he breaks. This looks like it could be a run attempt, maybe. Breaks Nathaniel, breaks Nub, and also breaks Mamba. So Arco making all kinds of friends. And is holding all of New Zealand with the assumption that Nub 2.0 is not going to break him from the eastern South Wales to South Island line. Mamba sets in for 10. How's it going, Ruxter? Didn't even know Mamba was playing. Yep, Mamba's already got a bounty under his belt for this game. And he's currently holding +8. And I believe the trade he just turned in was the 10 set. This is a fixed 70% game. And 2 bounties have already been taken. Looks like he's going to remove Arco from the +2 position up in the north. And that's all he wants to do with his turn. Fortifies 8 troops back to his portal stack, which is now 25 troops strong. Nub 2.0 got to hold 2 bonuses, but he did get an upgrade. I think this is his first turn collecting on the +5 upgrade from Southern Australia. So Nub is on +8. And had Arco not broken him, he would have been on +11. So Nub 2.0 does indeed decide to break Arco in the South Island and the North Island, perhaps goaded by Arco's thumbs down there. Or perhaps not. That may have been his plan all along. Nathaniel, relatively unscathed that turn, gets +10. Holding the +2, oh no, sorry, +9. Holding 2 +2s and a +5 for his bonus troops. And I should mention these players are going for a 70% game, so let's put up what the win condition is on New Zealand and Australia Advanced for 70%. The players need 51 territories, so that's all but 21 territories on this map. So because there's been so much hitting and warring and chaos, and otherwise, chaos going on, none of the players have reached the 100 troop mark, which is kind of about what you need before you can run the board. Maybe you can run it at 70 or 80 if the board is open enough, but normally in these games we haven't really been seeing runs until you get to the 90 or 100 troop mark for a map of this size. I will say though, because 2 players have been eliminated, there are less troops on the board overall, less troops being put on every turn that the other players will have to hit through. So maybe they don't need as many as 100 to run it. Arco breaks Mamba's big +6 bonus and retakes all of New Zealand while going through Nub 2.0's bonus, which he broke from. And now Arco appears to be putting his trust in Nathaniel to help him guard New Zealand. Can't see the... Oh, yeah, I need to shut that off, don't I? Thank you. You don't need to see the right side. It's all yellow. It's all Arco. Anyway, yeah. Appreciate the reminder. Mamba thinking about what he wants to do. He probably wants to retake, but maybe he wants to leave that line open for his 25 stack. But then again, because that 25 is on a portal, maybe he probably has no issues closing it. And he does set on 3 with the horsey trade, puts him on 69 troops. We see the dabs come out. We even see dabs from beyond the grave coming out from quarantine there. Referring to the player color order. He said right side. Isn't player color on the left? The left side overlay? What I can do is scooch the screen like that if you guys want to see that. Nub sits in for 10, puts him on 67 troops. It's good now. Okay, gotcha. Nub gonna go ahead and retake a bonus that was broken by Arco last turn. Or sorry, 2 turns ago. Nathaniel sets on 3 with 4 troops and is going to retake his +2, it looks like, which was broken by Mamba. So now the board does appear to have stabilized a bit. We don't see as much wheeling and dealing and kill feeding going on. Nathaniel might be attempting the run here. Is on 38%, 40%. Moving his way up. 48%. Fails a 3v1. 54%. Still has a lot of ones in front of him. He might have it. 63%. Still has the 11 stack, 7 stack, and an 11 stack. He's got this. 69%, just 100%. GG's to Nathaniel. Does not need 100 troops to bag it. Sets in for 3 with a dude trade of 4 troops to go ahead and take the win in the second game. So, Bart, I have some bad news for you, my friend. Nathaniel is on 39 points. GG's and well played to Nathaniel, taking the second W of this quarterfinal round. And just like that, we are going to roll into game 3. So we'll take a look at the current standings. Nathaniel on 39 points with 3 bounties and the game 1 win, as well as the game 2 win. Nub 2.0 on 6 points, thanks to a bounty in game 1 and a bounty in game 2. I am Mamba on 3 points, thanks to a bounty in game 2. Arco, Dedestro, and Quarantined still enjoying their consolation donuts. But there is still one more opportunity for these players to get on the board and or increase their point totals, or in Nathaniel's case, increase his lead. And that is coming up right now. Going to hop into game 3. This is going to be a world domination game on the Asia 1800s map. So we are donezo with the 70% games for the quarterfinal round here. This next game is going to be a world dom game. We're also done with all the special stuff. So blizzards, fog, portals, they're off. Alliances, they're off too. Placement's still auto. Dice are still balanced splits. Turn time is still 90 seconds. Bots are still automated experts. And the card bonuses are no longer fixed. We're going to go back to progressive cards for this world domination game. Dedestro going to be on purple. Quarantined on black. I am Mamba on red. Nathaniel on green. Nub 2.0 on yellow. I'm hoping Nub switches to orange. Yep, Nub does decide to switch back to orange. Makes things easier on everybody. And it looks like we're just waiting on Arco. Is Nathaniel the Puerto Rican? I don't see anyone waving a Puerto Rican flag here. Nathaniel's the green player. I honestly, I have no idea whether or not Nathaniel's Puerto Rican. Oh no, not the same Nathaniel, thanks. Okay. All right, it looks like there's some communication going back and forth regarding the last game, which might be why Arco's not in here yet, but I'm sure he'll be joining shortly, and we'll get game 3 fired away. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the tournament game so far, or this tournament round so far. But Asia 1800s is the last stop for the quarterfinal round of the 2024 Hotbunz World Tour Tournament. All right, this is probably as good as time as any, folks, to run to the bathroom, hit the head, grab popcorn. Whatever you do when you're enjoying a Risk stream and waiting for the next game to start. And there he is. We got Arco in here. We have a full lobby. So Destro, you may fire the game when ready. We are all set. Alrighty, so Nathaniel has already clinched the round in terms of who's going to get the most points this round, but can another player or two qualify for the semifinal round on points? I think that is going to be the question here for this game. Destro is going to be in the first seat. Spawns in with a number of troops down in the Southeast Asia bonus. He's got a 3 over in Afghanistan, a 3 up in Mongolia, and a couple 2s hanging out in China and Tibet. Then Nub 2.0 has an interesting spawn, doesn't really have anything in Southeast Asia. Has most of his material, it seems like, in the China bonus. And then material that's not in the China bonus is on the west side of the map. You got a 2-stack in India and Afghanistan and a 3-stack in Mongolia in that corner. Quarantined has a 4-stack in Southeast Asia in the northern side of the Korean bonus. He's got a couple 1s hanging out in Taiwan, North Japan, North Afghanistan, and India. And he's got a 3-stack in Indochina and a 5-stack in China. Then Nathaniel has a 4-stack in Sri Lanka, a 6-stack in Mongolia, a 1 in Indochina, and then some 2s and 3s over in the Korean and Japan peninsulas. Mamba has a 3-stack in Southeast Asia, and another 3-stack in Indochina and India. Then he's got a 5-stack in Indochina, a 2-stack in China, and a 2-stack in India. We do see Quarantine go ahead and slam Nathaniel out of the Korean Peninsula bonus. He does want to hang on to that +2, and Nathaniel appears to have spawned with the Japan +2. He is likely to take that following Quarantine's bonus taking turn. And then lastly, in terms of spawns, we have Arco's spawn. Arco has a 5-stack in the Philippines, a 2-stack down in Southeast Asia, another 2-stack in Indochina, actually another couple of 2-stacks in Indochina, another one in Tibet, another one in China, another one in India, and then last but not least, he's got a 3-stack in India. So yeah, Nathaniel does indeed just go ahead and take his gifted bonus. So Asia 1800s is not always a bonus game, but it does appear as though this one is shaping up to be a bonus game. Part of the reason it's not a bonus game is because there's not really a good way to balance the bonuses on this board with 6 players. Not really a good way to balance them all among everybody. Looks like Mamba is signaling that he would like to have the Indochina bonus. Is asking for Arco to move his 2s out and slams a quarantined 3 in the process. We will see if Arco decides to allow Mamba to take a +4 on his next turn. Arco doesn't really have a bonus of his own that he could go for. So I'm sure what he's thinking about right now is it worth it to him to let Mamba take that? He might decide that it is. He may decide not to. Using 50 seconds now, over half of his 90-second turn timer, thinking about what he wants to do. Looks like the hearts from Mamba might be enough to goad him to leave Mamba's bonus. So Arco kind of half leaves. Only moves 1, 2 out. But that should be enough for Mamba. Mamba shouldn't have any problem taking that bonus. Destro goes ahead and takes his +2 of Afghanistan, and now all 3 +2s on the board are occupied. So Nub 2.0 is kind of gifted now with the Tibet bonus. Yeah, no bonus plays last place is very rough for Arco. Yeah, so Nub 2.0 upset that he lost 2 ones there on that take, but he does currently have the bonus that is worth the most. At least until Mamba takes his +4. And then Arco sitting in a very rough spot. No lines on India, Southeast Asia, Mongolia, or China, which are the remaining unclaimed bonuses. And now the players that have already taken their bonuses are just going to relax and take cards for a bit and try to position themselves against whoever they want to line up for future bounties. The Indochina bonus is very hard to guard, but Mamba is guarding it with all kinds of 2s and 3s there. Hey, how's it going, Carter? Hey, right back at you. So Arco has moved his material into China. I guess he figures I may as well go big or go home and attempt to take the China bonus. And it's not completely out of left field. I believe it was Fitzhugh Hayashi in an earlier quarterfinal game 3 who did actually manage to hold China for 1 turn. That was, I can't remember if that was Group 2 or Group 3, but that was a game earlier today. Thanks for Mercy Brockstaff in Group 3. Kept my no 7-4 streak. Yeah, no problem, man. It was fun to do, and I happened to be available at that time. So if I was kind of just goofing around playing Witcher 3, and I was like, okay, I'll fill in here since the other caster wasn't able to make it. Okay, Nub 2.0 moves out of China. Quarantined also moves out of China. It looks like the board is agreeing to let Arco take China on his next turn. And if that does indeed happen, then every player will have a bonus. The next question will become, with 6 bonuses claimed, will players still be able to find cards? Kept my no set on fire, speaking personal. Lol. China +8. China's +7 on this map. But maybe there's so many territories that it may as well make it a +8 just because of that extra one from territory count. I don't know. We'll see if Arco ends up on 12 after this take. But yeah, Arco, seeing that the board is gonna allow him to take, is gonna go ahead and go all out and take China this turn. He does need to get bonus troops quickly before the sets start coming out, because he is looking a bit fishy. And if he manages to hold it, he won't be as fishy as Nub 2.0 is. Even though Nub is on +3, he is also only on 21 troops. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Carter. I mean, it may as well be +8. China's almost never held on this map. 9 territory bonus, yeah. So, the slight drawback with this now being a bonus game is players are a smidge easier to kill because their positions are a little bit more centralized. So that's not to say that that exterior positions don't exist. Obviously they do. But there are certainly less quote-unquote exterior positions because everyone's kind of centralized within their bonuses. So we will see if Arco is able to remain unbroken. I think that's the main question. Yeah, Quarantined was one of the players that moved out of the China bonus, so he does not seem interested in breaking. Dedestro didn't move out, but Dedestro is already gone and not broken. Mamba didn't break because Arco did help him out with taking Indochina. Nathaniel also moved out of the way, and Nub moved out of the way. So yeah, everyone seems to be on board with Arco holding the +7. At least for one turn. Whether he'll be allowed to hold it for a second turn is going to be the next question. So he holds it for one turn and holds 12 territories, which catches Arco right back up with everybody else. Yes, we are watching from Node 2.0's POV. So I think if you're the board, you're going to say, okay, Arco, you're in the last seat, so you have caught up enough. Let's go ahead and break you. But it's possible that they let him hold it again. They should let him hold but not get cards. I'm not sure how you do that. Oh, he's on Twitch too. Okay, that's cool. All right, Dedestro takes his 5th card, so we are quickly approaching the first round of trades. All right, so Dedestro and Nub are on 31 troops before any trades come out. Quarantined is on 34. Mamba and Arco are also on 34, but they're about to have a lot more troops because they haven't taken their turn this round yet. Nathaniel's on 38. Mamba is going to go to 41. And then if Arco remains unbroken, he's going to go to 45. Nathaniel moves into the Philippines. And it's up to Mamba to decide whether or not to break Arco. I think they might end up letting him hold one more turn. I think the board might end up letting him hold one more turn, but it is up to Mamba at this point. Mamba moves into Indonesia. Yep, Arco holds China for 2 turns in a row. Puts him on 45 troops. I don't think he'll be allowed to hold it a 3rd turn. But I have been wrong before. Arco trading cards with Nathaniel in the Philippines. And now everyone's on 5 cards. We didn't see any card skipping, so let the sets commence. Destro trades the 4 set. And Nub 2.0 looking at the 6 set with a +2. Everyone's still calmly taking cards. No one's going for kills, and no one is breaking. So Destro could end up being in trouble here. Arco has the biggest bonuses and is about to get the biggest trade. Nub 2.0 sets in. Yeah, Nub 2.0 set in for 6 +2. Quarantine setting in for 8. Looks like Quarantine's going to go get his card in India, I suspect. The Mongolia bonus is pretty well choked up with all those stacks that are wedged in up there. Nathaniel sets in for 10. Just going to trade cards in the Philippines. Mamba turns in the 12 trade. Nothing too crazy or spicy going on yet. It is interesting that Nathaniel did not fortify back to Japan, left his stack in the Philippines. That means that Arco is going to have to get his card elsewhere unless he wants to break Nathaniel. Or I suppose unless he wants to break any of his neighbors, which he neighbors Nub 2.0, Mamba, and Quarantined as well as Nathaniel. And then he's got an 8 stack that neighbors the Destro's bonus. Mamba has used half his clock, thinking about where he wants to get his card from. Puts a 21 that is only open to Arco, but does not break. Arco holds China for a 3rd turn and turns in the 15 trade, putting him on 69 troops. And we see the dabs come out for that. So that, I think, was the board's plan all along. They knew the math. Arco with China for 3 turns in the biggest trade would, of course, get him to 69 troops. The entire board did that calculus ahead of time, 3 or 4 turns ago. That obviously is what happened. Anything to see the the 69 troops come out. All right. So the calm before the storm is ending with this round. All of the players are going to take their 4th card unless they feel as though they are in danger and have a set on 3. So Nub 2.0 has a set on 3. Does he feel as though he's in enough danger to take the early 20 trade? He does not. He's going to go ahead and take his 4th card as opposed to the 20 trade. So Dedestro has his Afghanistan position, a wedged in 7 stack in Mongolia and a 13 stack down in Southeast Asia. Nub 2.0 really only in 2 positions. His Tibet position, then he's got a 14 stack in India and then an 11 stack in Mongolia. Then Quarantined is in 4 positions. He's got the Korean Peninsula bonus, then he's got a 10 stack in Mongolia and India, a piece, and then a 14 stack down in Indonesia in the Southeast Asia bonus. Then we have Nathaniel, who's got the Japan bonus, an 18 stack in the Philippines, a 7 and 8 stack in Mongolia, and then a 15 stack on Sri Lanka. And then Mamba, he's got his Indochina bonus, which is pretty much where all of his troops are, except for 7 troops down in Southeast Asia. And we do see the China break come out from Nathaniel. Breaks Arco in Taiwan. I think that makes sense. Arco has sufficiently caught up after holding the biggest bonus on the board for 3 turns straight. And then speaking of Arco, Arco's in 2 positions, or 3 positions, excuse me. Arco has had all of China. Most of his materials in China. Then he's got an 8 stack over in India, and then a 10 stack down in Southeast Asia. So he retakes China. Does he decide to press the issue and break Nathaniel? And that hit put him back on 69 troops, so we do see the dabs come back out. Here we go. Getting the Risk gameplay that all of you came here for. Dedestro sets in for the 20 trade on 4 cards. I don't believe he can quite kill anybody. Yep, he's just going to take a card. Whew. Nub setting in for 25 with another +2. Does Nub attempt a bounty here? And if so, on who? Looks like he's going to go for the Nathaniel bounty. And it looks like he's got it. GG's and well played to Nathaniel. But it appears as though Nathaniel will only be winning 2 games this round instead of 3. And well played to Nub 2.0, taking the first bounty of Game 3. So Nathaniel will not be adding to his 39-point score. That's correct, Horse Boy. Nathaniel won Game 1 and 2, and he took 3 bounties in Game 1. All right. Do we see Nub go for anyone else? He might be going for Quarantined here. I don't think he quite has the troops. So, yep. He does 1 roll, fails it. I don't expect he'll continue. Yep, we see the dice pop emoji come out. He just about had a second chain there. I think if he chains Quarantine there, that puts him in a really good place. But stopping at with that first roll, if you're gonna fail a kill, you want to do it on the first roll. Um, Thinking about where he wants to consolidate his troops and stack at. Moves out of Japan. So quarantined. Took a hit there, lost 9 troops, but it could have been a lot worse. But it may not matter if he doesn't have a trade on forward. Does quarantine have the 30 trade?
Doing, buddy? We doing good?
Hey, how are you?
Oh, I'm so great. Don't worry, I'm not cheating because I left the game.
You left the game.
As you see, I got fed by Noob there, somewhat. Oh, whoops. I got somewhat fed by Noob there, and
Did you
I
bot? What happened?
oh well, I'll
Why
just
aren't you in the
retaliate.
game,
I didn't have a
quarantine?
trade on 4.
Did you just quit out?
Yeah, I quit out. Yeah,
No,
I'm not in this game.
Nub only rolled you in one place, man. Can you
I
hop
didn't have
back
a
in?
trade. Fuck that.
Oh
I'm
man.
not playing a game where I don't have a trade on 4. Did you see how it's gone tonight? Fuck that. So how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. That's wild. I guess I don't know what the PRT rules are, but I don't have an issue with you co-casting the rest of this game.
Why is Noob looking at the dice like he's fucking shocked? It was a 16v14. His dice have been shit all night. What was he expecting?
Uh, Not sure. I mean, he's been getting good enough dice to make bounties each game, but yeah, not quite enough to chain him. Um, all right, so we got Quarantine in here, gonna co-cast the rest of Game 3 from his own group.
How's it going, everyone?
All right, Mamba sets in uh, for the 30 set, and Quarantine Bot is on 5 cards. Mamba's on 107 troops. Looks like Mamba is slow rolling a 3, getting some crazy
Good
dice.
manual. Good manuals.
Slow rolls a 5 with 2 dice and wins.
Dang. Ooh, 11 off the 10 though. That's tough.
Yep. Is gonna have to split here, but should have plenty of troops to get
That's a
100%
lot. I don't know
kill.
why he split 18 there. I think he's planning on making a double, but I don't know on who.
I think you chain Nub here,
Yeah,
maybe.
I think he chained Nub here. The 22 can't do a lot. He's gonna have to put like, no, he's gonna chain Arco.
Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, Arco's only in a couple spots, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a lot easier of a kill. Takes less
he's
time.
got him lined up. Yep.
Add one more to the 15 if he can. Should. I don't think he. Okay, yeah, he's got it.
Yep. That should be 100% roll here, or 100% kill. If it's not
Yeah, that's
100%,
good.
it's darn close to
I was say
100%.
no, it's very bad dice on the 24.
Yep.
But he's far enough ahead, it doesn't matter. Destro doesn't have a trade. Noob, I think, dies right now.
Yeah. This does appear to be Mamba's game. So GG's to Arco, going out there. GG's to you, Quarantine, going out.
Oh yeah.
And well played to Mamba, chaining 2 kills
Or
here
maybe
in
he's
game
not
3.
going for it this time. I don't know if he quite has it. I mean, I think he does. I think he has big enough trade, but I'm not sure, I guess.
Yeah, I think he does too, but he probably can get away with waiting if he wants to.
Yes. I was like, there's not really any need to risk it, but I mean, I don't blame him for going for it in case Noob himself has a trade.
Right.
Because if he doesn't go for it now, then he ends on 5 cards, and there's a chance, Noob has a trade on 3.
Yep.
That feeds the whole game to Destra,
Yep.
Ah,
Or
ooh,
the Destro could feed him.
that
So
was
that
close.
was
That was close.
very close. But yeah, GG's to Nub 2.0 and well
Jeez,
played to
Nub.
Mamba, chaining a 3rd kill. And that should wrap up game 3 here.
Yeah, that should be GG's. Ooh, not quite. He doesn't have quite, but it doesn't matter. I mean, Destra doesn't have a
The
trade.
Destro does not have a set, but uh, a very minor error, not breaking the Destro, but that's not gonna change anything.
That's a little unfortunate.
Yeah, he's already used all his slow roll luck. Yep. No more magic on the slow rolls there. The Destro on 28 troops, looking at a monster 74 troop army of his 1v1 opponent. And that army is about to be backed up by however much the trades are worth, because Mamba is on 5 cards.
Also, just worth a note. With the points he's gotten this round, Nathaniel is going to edge out Bart for the auto advance to the finals.
Yep.
So he will be our first confirmed finalist for the second edition of the Hotbunz World Tour.
Yeah, Bart was actually in the chat after Nathaniel won game one and said, "I hope Nathaniel doesn't score any more points."
And then he won the next one.
Yeah, Bart might have jinxed him on that one. Jinxed himself.
He had a really good game one with the way that turned out.
Yes. Yeah. What was it? It was a win +3, right?
I believe so. Yeah, it was a win in 3. Then round 2 was I don't think he didn't get any kills.
He didn't
Game
get
2,
any kills in round 2.
but he got the win. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't realize there weren't I realized at the end of the first round that there was no placement points. So yeah, this has been interesting.